Welcome to the deep dive. So right out of the gate, we're jumping into the Switch 2's very first Black Friday eShop sale.
Mm,
And our mission here isn't just to find deals, but to find those last-gen titles that the new hardware secretly makes amazing.
exactly. This is all about knowing where the biggest bang for your buck is. I mean, we're talking about games where the raw horsepower fundamentally changes the entire experience. It's like a hardware-enabled revival.
Okay, let's start right there with the performance fixes. We're talking about games that were, a bit wobbly on the original Switch.
Or a lot wobbly.
A lot wobbly, right? Let's start with Nier Automata.
So what's fascinating here is that on the original, the frame rate was all over the place. You'd
Yeah.
jump between like 30 and 45 FPS.
Yeah, in the big fights, it was noticeable.
Totally. But the Switch 2 just, it locks it.
Yeah.
A solid, silky smooth 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
And for an action RPG like this, that level of fidelity is, it's everything.
But I think the real comeback story has to be the XCOM 2 collection, right? That port was infamous.
Oh, it was borderline unplayable for a lot of people. The
Right.
load times were a nightmare, frame rates were always low.
Mm.
But here's the miracle. Because XCOM 2 has an uncapped frame rate, the Switch 2's raw power just fixes it. Stability, load times, even those late-game animation hitches are minimized.
Whoa, hang on. You said it might be the best console version ever? That's a massive claim. Are those animation itches really gone?
Well, not gone, but they are so much less frequent. It honestly performs better than the PS4 original did at its launch. It's a huge upgrade.
That is a huge shift. And we're seeing a similar cleanup on Sonic Frontiers.
Right, that stuttering really broke the whole momentum, you know. Sonic game needs to feel fast.
Of course.
Now it's just a rock-solid 30 frames. Consistent. Even when you're boosting across the Starfall Islands, the chaos is finally, like, clean chaos.
All right, so now that we know the raw power is there, let's pivot a little. Let's look at the epic journeys, the RPGs. If you just got a Switch 2, where do you start?
Yakuza 0,
Oh.
hands down. It's the perfect narrative ride.
A trip through 1980s Japan.
Yeah, but critically, the Switch 2 just obliterates those old load screens. So moving between combat, mini-games, exploration, it all feels completely seamless now. The pacing is just spot on.
And of course, you have to mention Skyrim.
Always. But this time, it's not just about portability. Docked, you're finally getting that stable, near-perfect resolution. Those dynamic resolution dips that plagued the old version, pretty much gone.
Okay, what about a deeper cut?
Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning.
Ugh.
It has this legendary, complicated backstory, but the game itself, a fantastic open-world RPG with this really fluid action
I
combat.
remember that one.
Huge map, well worth the price. I will say, though, there are still some reports of minor graphical issues on Switch 2, so maybe, check on that before you buy.
Good to know. Okay, let's jump into pure action and chaos. For groups, you're saying moving out to Deluxe Edition is a must.
Oh, yeah. For up to 4 players, it's ideal.
No.
I know, moving furniture sounds dull, but
Overlapping. It's not dull.
not at all. You're like waddling across these collapsing, fantastical scenarios. It's so silly, but it's balanced. Nothing tests a friendship like moving a piano across a tightrope.
And for the more technical players.
The Capcom Fighting Collection. It is an insane value, an entire archive, really. You get all the Darkstalkers games, Power Stones, Project Justice, both Capcom versus SNK games.
Oh.
It's a treasury for anyone who loves high-quality arcade fighters.
We also have to talk about Shadows of the Damned.
Yes, such a rare game. It's from Suda51 and Shinji Mikami, and it just nails this mix of humor and genuinely great shooter mechanics. You're fighting demons with a gun that literally transforms. It's a cult classic that never really got its due on handhelds.
All right, let's wrap with a couple of unique deep cuts, the ones that make you think a little. I'm thinking Blasphemous too.
Oof, yeah. This is a pixel art Metroidvania that is just dripping with spiritual horror and religious guilt. It's a heavy theological narrative.
A Way of Dante, you called it.
Pretty much. And for under $10, that's an intense experience you just don't get anywhere else.
And finally, a classic puzzle mystery that was trapped on the DS for way too long.
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Yeah.
Just a brilliant premise. You're dead, and you have to use your new ghost powers to possess objects and solve your own murder before sunrise.
The execution is just masterful.
Absolutely. Essential.
So as people head to the eShop, what's the big takeaway here?
I mean, the key thing to remember is that the Switch 2 is giving a whole new life to these demanding older ports. This isn't just a sale. It's a hardware-enabled revival. Old problems are now new opportunities.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you to chew on. If the hardware can resurrect a game like XCOM 2 from being the worst port to maybe the best console version, What other notoriously rough Switch 1 ports might be silently fixed right now, just waiting to be discovered? That's the real fun of exploring these first sales.